There's a massive shift happening in the video game industry right now. And it's not about the next big console or some new streaming star. No, it's about the digital bedrock, the very tools our favorite games are built on. One piece of tech is at the heart of it all, and we're going to break down exactly how it completely took over.
All right, let's just kick this off with a bombshell. CD Projekt Red, yeah, the legendary studio that gave us The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077. Well, they're walking away from their own custom-built engine, the Red Engine. And look, this isn't just some small tweak. This is a seismic event. And believe me, it's happening all across the industry.
What we're really witnessing here is, well, it's like a great migration. For decades, all the biggest studios prided themselves on having their own special in-house game engines. But now, they're ditching them in droves, all flocking to one single third-party solution. So that brings us to the big question, right? Why? Why would a studio pour millions of dollars and countless years into building its own tech, only to just toss it aside for something off the shelf? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. It all boils down to cost, complexity, and one heck of a revolutionary leap in technology. A game developer on Reddit just put it perfectly. The sheer amount of work it takes to build and maintain a modern game engine has just exploded. It's become a project that's often bigger and way more complicated than the actual game you're trying to make. It's kind of like trying to build an entire car factory from scratch just so you can design one new car. It's just not efficient. And for a long time, building your own engine totally made sense. The existing tools just couldn't bring a developer's unique vision to life. But over the last decade or so, that whole equation has completely flipped on its head. Keeping these custom engines running has turned into a massive drain on money, time, and talent. Let's actually break down these pressure points. You've got technical debt, which is just a fancy way of saying these old engines are full of bugs and clunky, outdated code that gets harder and harder to fix. But the real killer here? Recruitment. See, when you use a custom engine, every single person you hire has to spend months just learning your one-of-a-kind tools before they can actually start working. It's a huge bottleneck. So, just as studios were drowning in the costs of their own tech, Epic Games came along and dropped a solution. And it wasn't just another option. It was a full-blown generational leap forward. It's called Unreal Engine 5, and it's really built on two revolutionary pillars. The first one is called Nanite. Now, to put it simply, this tech lets artists take these incredibly detailed movie-quality 3D models and just drop them right into the game engine. No more spending hundreds of hours optimizing every little thing. It's a total game changer for visual detail and artistic freedom. And this is the result. Artists can now just focus on being creative, on building these worlds with a level of detail that we used to think was impossible in a real-time game, all without worrying that it's going to make your computer grind to a halt. Okay, so the second pillar is Lumen. This thing is a complete reinvention of how lighting works in video games. It creates this super realistic, dynamic lighting and reflections that react instantly to whatever's happening in the world. See, before Lumen, developers had to do this painstaking process called baking the lighting, which could take hours, sometimes even days. Now, they can just move a light and see the final result instantly. This makes building worlds with, say, a changing time of day, or buildings you can blow up, dramatically easier and faster. But here's the thing. Incredible technology is only half the story. Epic Games paired this amazing tech with a business strategy so smart, so clever, that it basically made switching to Unreal Engine an irresistible choice for pretty much everyone. And it all starts with this number, $1 million. This number is the absolute key to Unreal's entire business model, and it has completely changed the game for high-end development. So here's how it works. You can download and use the entire full-featured Unreal Engine for free, totally free. You don't pay Epic a single penny until your game makes over $1 million. After that, they take a 5% cut. But here's the masterstroke. If you sell your game on the Epic Game Store, they just waive that fee entirely. It's an unbelievably powerful incentive. This is how Epic built its whole ecosystem. It's not just that they waive the engine royalty on their store, but their store's cut is only 12%, compared to the 30% you see on other platforms like Steam. For a developer, that is a huge difference to your bottom line. So did it work? Oh, you better believe it. The adoption of Unreal Engine 5 has been absolutely explosive. By 2024, less than 2 years after it came out, it was already being used in nearly 3/4 of all new projects being built with Unreal. The migration is real and it is happening fast. But, lots of people using your tech is one thing. What about the money? Well, this next number shows just how much market power all of that adoption really translates to. Get this. In 2024, games made with Unreal Engine generated 31% of all the revenue on Steam.
For the first time ever, it blew past its main competitor, Unity. So yeah, this isn't just about making pretty games anymore. This is about market domination.
Now, this combination of incredible tech, a super smart business model, and all that market success, it creates this powerful feedback loop, this snowball effect that leads to the third pillar of Unreal's dominance, the talent pool. And here's how it works. Because so many studios are using Unreal now, I'm talking everyone from the smallest indie dev to the biggest AAA giants, it's become the shared language of game development. It's created this huge global talent pool of developers who already know the tools inside and out. So remember that whole recruitment nightmare we talked about earlier? Well, problem solved. As the developers of Halo explained when they made the switch, using Unreal means new hires can be productive pretty much from day one. That speeds up development and cuts down costs like you wouldn't believe. And you can see the impact literally everywhere you look. It's powering some of the biggest surprise indie hits we've seen in years. Games like Palworld and Manor Lords, games made by tiny teams that look and feel like massive productions. All the way up to the most anticipated, jaw-dropping AAA blockbusters on the planet, like Black Myth: Wukong and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The engine's footprint is just undeniable. It has become the foundational infrastructure for the entire next era of gaming.
So what does all this mean for the future? Where does this leave us? Well, we've basically reached a point where the industry has standardized. The great engine migration, it's pretty much over. For developers, the critical question has completely changed. It's no longer about which engine you should choose. Now, the real challenge is how you stand out. How do you create something truly unique when everyone is using the same incredibly powerful set of tools?